So suppose we have the following question. The question says, construct a confidence interval. For population proportion. So this is my example. This is my question. So I want to know what is the proportion, guys, proportion equivalent de proportion percentage of Dianza students who admitted to one of the UCs last year. This is my question, and I want to answer this question by constructing a confidence interval. Let us go back to the main board. This is our main board. Remember that we are building the confidence interval for population proportion, everybody. The last column, 6.3. The very first step is finding the point estimate, p hat. Okay, step one. Point estimate. Point estimate for population proportion is sample proportion. This is sample proportion, denoted by p hat. P hat is equal to x over n. All right. Well, how do I find x? How do I find n? I'm going to take a random sample. I take a random sample and I ask students in this class, did you get admitted to UC last year or not? So we run the poll. We collect the data. I have 25 students who responded to the vote. And how many said yes? 6 said yes. Let us do the division. If we do the division, we can actually find the point estimate. The point estimate, p hat, is going to be 24% or 0.24. My very first step is to find the point estimate. Step 2, what is the confidence level, CL? Confidence level or CL. The confidence level is not given here. So I automatically select C to be 95% or 0.95. Okay, I'm done with step 1. I'm done with step 2. Now I'm going to move to step 3 to find what? Now we need to find the critical value. Critical value denoted by Z sub C. Let us use our calculator. Go to second, vars, inverse, norm, and enter the information. I need the area. Remember, the area was 1 minus C divided by 2. C is 95%, so I get 1 minus 95% divided by 2. It's 5% divided by 2, or 0.025. This is the area that I'm going to use. What about the mean? When it comes to Z, mean is 0, and the standard deviation is 1. Very good. So far so good. I have all the information that I need. Now I'm going to use my calculator to actually see what that value is. So second was inverse norm, mean 0, standard deviation 1. So we're not going to change these two, but the area 0.025. 0.025. Here we go. Let's paste it and find Z. Remember that the critical value must be positive. So Z sub C is positive 1.96. I found my critical value, 1.96. Okay, let us put this away and move on to step 4. All we did was calculated the critical value. Why is that? Because we need to find the distance. Hey, step 4, margin of error. Margin of error. E, remember that we introduced a new formula. It's ZC times the square root of P hat times 1 minus P hat divided by N. Do I have all the information? Yes, of course. ZC is 1.96 times the square root of P hat is 24%, 0.24. Guys, don't forget to write down 0.24. It's important. Parentheses 1 minus 24% divided by N. How many students I asked? I asked 25 people. Okay, let us do the calculation. What is this number? Very well. So I have, let's see, 1.96 times second square root of, now I'm going to use a lot of parentheses, 0.24, close parenthesis, open parenthesis, and I have 1 minus 24.24, let me close the parenthesis, and divide the whole thing by 25. Let me close the last parenthesis, and I should get, well, 0.17. So this is going to be my margin of error. E, or the margin of error, is approximately 0.17. Okay. I have all the information that I need. Now I'm allowed to go to the last step. Step 5. My confidence interval is, open parenthesis, P hat minus E, comma, P hat plus E. P hat 24%, 0.24, minus the margin of error, which is 17%, comma, P hat 24% plus the margin of error. Okay. So since we are using approximation, let's put the approximation here, and let's see. What do we get as the lower limit? It's just 7%, and the upper limit, it's going to be 41%. So what is our conclusion? Our conclusion is that, well, we are 95% confident that the population proportion, the percentage of the answer students who got admitted to UCs last year is within 7% to 41%. There. The answer. Population proportion is in between 7% to 41%. So this is our conclusion. We're 95% confident about that. Now to use your calculator, go to stat, go to tests, and then find one proportion z interval. So one proportion z interval. X is 6, the number of successes that we have is 6, n is 25, the sample size sea level is not given, so we automatically assume that it's 95% and let's do the calculation. As you can see, you end up with 7% to about 41%. So if you want to use your calculator, let us write down the calculator steps here for you. For the calculator, go to Stat, go to Tests, and then one proportion z interval. One proportion z interval. Enter x as the number of successes that you have. In this case, it's 6, and n the sample size, which is 25. Then it gives you the confidence interval.